Hey, what's going on out there? I would like to welcome you all to Warrior Soil. So before I get into this video, I would like to say if you're new over here, I have two rules on this channel. The first rule is for you to always use your own discretion when it comes to credit cards and credit scores. The second rule is for you to verify whatever it is you learn, whether it's on this channel, another channel, or anywhere. Verifying what you learn should be a rule of life. So always verify what you learn. So getting into the video, this is going to be about a news article that I came across this week. And I always like to tell news articles. My subscribers know that. If you're new here, you will become accustomed to it. But before I get into the article, I want you to do something real quick. Hit the like button. It literally takes a second. Hit the like button. That lets the algorithm know that you're in support of this video, not only of this video, of this channel as well. But to get into the article, this article was posted by Fox Business, and I visit Fox Business from time to time and read different articles, and I just so happened to come across one that relates to credit products, mainly credit cards, but I'm also going to talk about the other credit products that are mentioned. But I'm going to start right off top and dive into the article. So the article is titled, "Consumers Want Credit Products Despite High Interest Rates, TransUnion." So it's per TransUnion. And it says, most Americans regret credit card debt, according to a survey. So as you can see already off the bat, you know where this article is headed, and we're going to get further into reading it. The high interest rate environment has done little to dampen the appetite for credit products, a recent TransUnion report said. The report said that in the first quarter of 2024, when counted together, consumers had more than 543 million bank cards in their wallets, an increase of 20 million year over year and more than 88 million from just 3 years ago. Not only do more Americans have bank cards, but they are also increasingly using their available credit, with balances growing 2.2% over last year. The average new account credit lines rose 3.8% to $5,628. Consumers also increasingly access cash through unsecured personal loans. Total unsecured personal loan balances grew 9% to $245 billion in the first quarter of 2024. The growing appetite for borrowing comes even as the Federal Reserve has maintained interest rates at a two-decade high of 5.25% to 5.5%. High interest rates increase the cost of borrowing. Now, before I decide to go further with the article, I want to say something. The other day, I went to the grocery store and I browsed around the grocery store and I kept track of all of the prices. And I looked at the prices and I was like, these prices have just about doubled from 2 to 3 years ago. Everything from deodorant to even vegetables, everything has just about doubled from what it used to be. And it wasn't that long ago. I could see if it was 5 to 10 years ago. We're talking 2 to 3 years ago. So in my opinion, a lot of this extra spending when it comes to credit products, mainly credit cards, is due to prices being so high, especially when it comes to goods and services. I'll have people that come by this channel and they'll say things like, hey, the economy is doing good. Why do you keep saying it's not doing good? And that's a good question. They're looking at it from an economic standpoint. They also could be looking at it from a political standpoint. But I'm looking at it from a price of goods and services standpoint, and also what people are being required to spend at a grocery store. I walked through Publix the other day and all I could think is, man, this has to be hard on people who haven't got increases at their job over the couple of years to match these prices, because the prices were really ridiculous. And I assumed that the prices would go down, but I honestly don't see the prices going down. And I believe it's probably going to be the new normal for all of us. But I do feel like the prices of goods and services has a lot to do with people doing a lot of spending and still reaching for their credit products, even though they are in credit card debt. And they do have credit debt overall, but not just the price of goods and services. Please believe that keeping up with the Joneses also plays a role in it as well. And I'm going to get more into that later. And that's why I like to highlight these things on my channel. I like to talk about it often because it's really a psychological thing. People like to have the feeling of just being able to go out and spend and buy things, because as we all know, buying things and purchasing things, it provides a high for a lot of people. Maybe not for everyone, but it does provide a high for a lot of people. So people want to keep that high going. And credit products, specifically credit cards, help people keep that high going. So yeah, they might be in debt and they might have trouble paying off their credit card debt, even though it's piling up and getting larger and larger due to them carrying over balances and getting hit with interest, but they're still going to continue to spend because of that high. And not only is it because of the high, it's also because of what I highlighted earlier in this video with the increase in the price of goods and services. People are just trying to maintain out here. And I could continue to make videos and say, hey, make sure that you don't spend what you can't pay off with your credit cards, but people are going to still spend. They're still going to go out and spend and purchase things, especially if they are just trying to get by. And when it comes down to it, in order for people to stay out of credit card debt, have a good to excellent credit score, they have to learn how to put a cap on their spending. Now, I've been doing some thinking as of late, and I'm like, you're not going to be able to help people. And when I initially got on YouTube, I realized that was one of the first things I realized. Actually, it wasn't even a goal of mine, but I had to remind myself that you're not going to be able to help everyone. Some people, they're still going to do the things that they know they shouldn't do, but they're going to do it anyways. They're still going to go out and spend and use their credit cards, even though they don't have the money to pay it off. And they just say, hey, I got to provide for my family. Or like I stated earlier with keeping up with the Joneses, they got to provide for that mental high that they get from spending. I'm on social media and I always see people post about traveling. Traveling is a luxury to me. Unless you're traveling for money or for work or for business, traveling is a luxury. And a lot of people, they go and they travel even though they can't afford to. They just say, hey, I'll put it on a credit card and I'll get points for it. I do not advise people going to travel and putting it on a credit card if you know you won't be able to pay it back whenever your next statement is due. I don't encourage it. It's not smart. It's not a good idea because there are literally people who are traveling on an every month basis. And I'm not talking about just traveling domestically. I'm talking about traveling out of the country and they're just piling up credit card debt. And they're not thinking about, hey, how am I going to be able to pay this back? A lot of them are thinking like, hey, my favorite influencer is doing it and I want to live similar to them, so I'm going to do it as well. But what you don't know, a lot of times your favorite influencers' flights are paid for. Their room is paid for. What they do on that trip is paid for. You, on the other hand, that's coming out of your credit card account and it's piling up and it's going to gain interest and you're going to get yourself in a lot of credit card debt, which on the back end will end up hurting you as far as your finances and your credit score. So I just wanted to go over this article and why it's a serious problem for millions of people. You figure even though people are in credit card debt, they're still spending at an all-time high. And that's a problem. So I'm going to link the article below so you all can give it a read. It's not a long read. I'm going to link it. And I want you all to do some thinking like, do you spend more than what you can afford to spend? Because we like to look at credit cards as an extra form of spending that we could do, but you have to look at credit cards as a 30-day loan, and that's something that you will always have to pay back and should pay back the next month, not something that you'll pay back in 6 months or 12 months, unless you have a 0% APR. But other than that, you want to make sure that you're not carrying over balances and getting yourself in credit card debt because it will hurt your credit score. But anyways, this is Water Your Soil. If you're new over here and you're feeling the vibe, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications. That way you don't miss a future video because I do post often. That's clicking on the bell and selecting all. Also, what I want you all to do is take my poll. I have a poll on my community tab. It's listing new banks. It's not Chase, American Express, Discover, and those banks. I included Bank of America, Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank, and Citi. So check out that poll, participate in that poll. Also, if you're watching this right now, I don't care if you're a subscriber or not, be sure to hit the like button. As I stated earlier in the video, that's your way of showing support for this channel. I appreciate every single one of you for stopping by to watch this video. Hey, check out the article, give it a read. This is Water Your Soil, and I'm out. Hold on, wait. Before you leave, be sure to check out the description box below That way you can have all the credit resources from Water Your Soil. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button as well, all right? In the description box below, I always tell people, check out the description box below for extra resources from Water Your Soil. Part of the description box also showcases my book that I have. I have a book. It's been out for a while now. It's been out for years. It's titled Strategies to Master Credit. The book is available. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. Most online bookstores have the book. And the book is basically about how FICO credit scoring works. Once you understand how FICO credit scoring works, you're pretty much on your way to helping yourself build, develop, and maintain a good credit score. So check the book out whenever you get a chance.